Well, howdy, welcome to another video. As you saw in the title, it is another ham swap fiesta festival. Wife and I attended this about a week ago, and we had fun. It was a small event. There was only about 3 sellers, and 2 other folks showed up later on to give stuff away. There weren't that many buyers. There were more people showed up for social gathering than buyers. There might have been about 4 or 5, 6 buyers at the most, with the wife and I being the one who supported the most that day. Don't remember all the prices. I will be a little shady on that. Don't have stickers on everything to help me remember. And we picked from these 3 sellers for several hours during the event, and so multiple times going back and forth. So I don't remember everything. What I can remember, I will definitely let you know. I think in total, the wife and I spent about $700 that day. And we had a wonderful time and met a bunch of new ham operators. And we will definitely attend the event next year. So with that all said and done, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in it, shall we? Okay, I stand to be corrected. Wife reminded me that one of the sellers was not a ham operator selling items from an estate of a fellow who had passed on. Alright, so from seller 1, first thing in the morning, I bought this. This is a DMR radio, 2 meters only. I paid $15 for this, and it works just ducky with no problems. This is a digital and analog radio, and as you can see, it still has the plastic screen protector on it, kind of snazzy. Really pleased with this radio. It's really good quality build. I'm really pleased with the build of it. This did not come with a belt clip, software, or the cable, programming cable. I have since ordered those 2 items, the belt clip and the cable, and they came in yesterday. This is the belt clip. I haven't had a chance to put that on. Cable, I went ahead and dorked with this last night and learned the programming and the radio somewhat. Very challenging radio, especially if you're not used to this digital stuff. Coming from an analog world, the only digital that I played with in ham radio was Packet, TNC, Terminal Node Controller, and Echo Link. In fact, the wife and I kind of got out of ham radio just shortly after Echo Link came onto the scene. So I was a member at that time, and have, when I walked away with it, I had nothing else to do with it. So definitely a new creature coming back into the hobby. So came with a charger, 2 antennas, and then the really nice hefty wall wart. Spotlight orange B&D. Okay. So probably an aftermarket power supply. And then the thong. Okay, next up here is something I'm very excited, very happy, very pleased to have in my collection. I have looked at the cheap ones on eBay, and figured one day maybe I'd pick one up. But I held out, and I got a better brand, a better piece of gear, I'm sure. But I wouldn't mind having the cheap ones just to compare it to. This is a Tri-Field model TF2, and I believe it's still a current model in production. This is a EMF meter, as you can see. It checks magnetic fields, electrical fields, both standard and weighted, and RF. I've dorked around with this in the house, and it's really cool. Walk around the microwave oven, refrigerator, lights, etc. And you get to see what emits noise. I paid $20 for this device, which is a heck of a deal. Next up is another piece of gear I'm very ecstatic to have in my collection. This one and the meter we just saw in the last clip are really two of the highlights for me of this auction. So I'm really stoked to have this, add this to my antenna analyzer collection. And that's exactly what this is. This is a MFJ 259 Bravo, and it checks for SWRs and frequency analyze, the ohms of your coax, the resistance of your coax, at what frequency. And as you see right now, without a load on it, it's not good. We'll stick a dummy load on it. The dummy load is a Radio Shack model 21506, which is good from DC to 500 megs. And so, saying that 4.2 megahertz, our SWRs is 1.0, and our resistance is at 51 ohms, and our capacitance is at 0. And then we got a couple of analog visuals right there. So this is pretty awesome. Very, very stoked, very happy to have this in my collection. This device came in its box and came with the power supply. Also came with its own little dummy load tester thingy, which I didn't grab. Anyway, for this device I paid $40, and as you know, those that know, that is one heck of a deal. It's an amazing deal. Next up is something that the wife bought. Now we bought this, we bought a bunch of stuff from this one guy, and you'll see throughout this video. We went back to him 3-4 times or so, and always getting a group of things. So cannot begin to tell you one item price. It was a group of things. In total, I think we spent, I think the wife spent about $100 with him or thereabout. So. And this is one of the items. This is something that's kind of cool. I was eyeing this over my own self, and she liked it, and she went ahead and grabbed it. This is a Accurate Instruments, model number 158, and as you see, it is a transistor radio tester. I think the date on this is 1963. I did brief testing on it. It seems to work, but we'll need some little cleaning, little attention. Comes with all the cabling, everything you need. So it's kind of cool. We got RF generator output. We could test our transistors. We have audio output generator, and we got an attenuator, volume control for the amplifier, hook up external meter, and then the nice big meter. So again, this is a really cool piece of test gear, and can't wait to get to it, to dork with it, and let the wife play with it. I think think she'll enjoy using this piece of machinery. Alright, this next set of radios here I bought from a fella. He was asking $60 on this radio. It's a TYT TH8600 dual band, 2 meter 440. 25 on 2 meters and 20 watts on 440. I got the complete kit on this. Microphone, power cables, everything like that. This, you can see it's got a little rubber flap here. This is supposed to be a weather resistant radio. You're supposed to actually be able to submerge this and it work. I'm not going to try that out though. You can see that the radio still has the screen protector on there, which is cool. I like that. The seller I got it from said that this was a recent purchase for him. He put it in line, had it powered on, and then tried to communicate on another radio next to it. This one caused some intermod issues. He didn't like that. He pulled that out of line and out it went. He was asking $60 on it. I offered $50. He took it. At which time he gave me this radio for free. This is a ICOM FT1802, and this is a 2 meter monoband rig. I did not get the microphone with this, but got everything else with it. Well, minus the other half of the cable. This radio, he said, was a parts radio, and it does power on, it does receive, sounds really good, but there's an issue with transmit. A brief internet search tells me, yeah, that this radio has a problem that's semi-easy to fix, so we'll order the parts for it, and we'll attempt to fix this, so look forward to this in a future video. Alright, next up, some amplifiers. You're probably wondering if I bought myself any amplifiers this go around, and yes, the answer is yes, I did. I bought 2 of them. I paid $15 each for them from one seller. This one right here is a modern amplifier. It's a RMKL-200P. This is a 100 watt amplifier. Really nice tiny thing. And this little guy worked. As you notice, I said worked, not does work. I put it in line the other day to check it out, see how good it does. Had Australia coming in the evening time on 11 meters, and wanted to see how good it did. So I figured, well, I turned down my radio, turned my power down to QRP mode to run this little guy. And after I hooked it all up and everything, I totally forgot to turn down my radio, and I shoved 100 watts into it. I blew the power transistor out in it. What's interesting is the manufacturer says that this is 100 watts on AM FM, 200 watts PEP on sideband CW. But after pulling the specs on the power transistor, see, we use a MRF 454, and it's only good for 80 watts. So a little bit of fibbing there, or their meters are off. The construction of it. It's really simple. It'd be a really easy fix. It's all pass-through technology. There's no SMD to it. So that's really, really cool. The transistor, cheapest I could find, it will cost me about $60. I've seen them as much as $85. So I'm going to think about whether or not I'm going to repair that, considering the amplifier sold brand new for about 125 bucks. The next one here is a Pride HFL 125, and as you see, it is for HF 40 through 10 meter. This one does have some issues. Haven't opened it up yet to see what's happening, so we'll do that. I'm really excited to have this one actually in my collection, being the Pride brand. Some of you may remember that I have two Pride frequency counters that you put in line with your HF transceiver, and it's a product of the 70s. I haven't yet pulled the schematic on this or even looked for one. It's a really nice girthy amplifier. Alright, this bag right here, as you see, free. That's what we paid for that. Got more U-bolts than we'll know what to do with. These are great for mounting your antennas or mufflers or whatever you're going to do with them. But how could you say no? Thing is about a week prior or so, I was digging through my junk trying to find some, so this worked out perfect. The next group of items here came from the one seller that the wife bought a bunch of stuff from, and really excited to have all of this. We'll start with this right here. It is what it says it is. And what's kind of funny is I've been meaning to build me one. I've got all the parts I needed. I just hadn't bought a case yet to put everything in, but I bought all the parts 5-6 years ago. Just haven't had time. So got this one. And a quick test shows me that 4 and 8 ohm works. 16 ohm is showing me it's 8 ohm. So I will have to figure out how he got this together and tear it apart. You would think maybe through the feet, but peering through the hole, those feet are connected to what it looks like loose nuts. So I'll have to experiment and see what happens. Whatever you use for the top here, the plexiglass, I really like the coloring. That's kind of cool. This I'm also excited to have. This is a Ramsey kit prescaler or audio prescaler. Now I know what a prescaler does because I have a wealth of them. But with an audio prescaler, I could not find any documentation on this. I know they made this version, which is an early version, and then they made a version after this. As stated, could not find any documentation. If you know anything about this or know where I can get documentation for that, please chime in and let me know. This one may be defective. I ported in a signal, 1 kilohertz signal. Well, I tried a few of them, and I saw nothing on the output on the O-scope. My O-scope has a spectrum analyzer, which would cover that range. Plus, I got that one. I didn't try it on that one, but I did on that one. Couldn't see anything, so I'll have to come back to that one. This here is also something I'm excited to have. These are neat. This is a 10 dB amplifier that came from Radio Shack. Covers from 5 to 900 megahertz. They were generally marketed towards TV. But you could repurpose these. They don't have to be for your TV. You could have also used them on your FM radio stereo. I think is also what they were marketed for. But it's a 10 dB amplifier. So anything within that frequency spectrum, you could use it on. So if you've got a signal generator that's putting out weak signal and you're trying to read it on your frequency counter, but your frequency counter may be a little too tight or it just needs a little bit more moose juice, this will give it to you. And I did check this on the spectrum analyzer, and this one does indeed hold 10 dB through the whole spectrum. Drops off pretty fast, so after 5, I think maybe about 4 megahertz or thereabout, 3.5 as low as this will go. So definitely pick one up. You'll be fat and happy that you did. Also, grab this amplifier. And this one, almost dropped. I'm very happy to have. There we go. Could not find any documentation on this, but it this is a 40 to 50 dB amplifier, a plus 40 to plus 50 dB amplifier. This thing is awesome. I'm very happy to have this. First, I thought I blew it up, but it was just my dumb error. I guess I did something in wiring or something. So very happy. These things are very expensive. If you've ever priced them, you'll understand. This item, really cool to have this. And I believe that's what's in the box. I haven't opened it up really to look. It's heavy. Now you're thinking to yourself, what you going to do with that, man? Well, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to put an antenna on it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a television antenna. It can be a ham radio antenna. Let's hope the remote control is in there. I'm opening this up for the first time. Definitely a motor in there. Oh, wow, look at this. This got to be brand new. You know it's legit when you get some nice Chinese batteries. Yeah, I'm going to say not been used before. And then wall warts. So that is awesome. So yeah, you can put your lightweight, light duty beams on here, and trying to see real quick what the wind load it says it could handle. Has a 2003 copyright date. Okay, not sure what the wind load is on that. Didn't see anything in the book and not seeing anything on the box. So there it is. I still have the old, I have another one of these, but I got the old one where you gotta, on the controller, push the bottom to calibrate it. And it goes clunk, 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 clunk. Still got that. If you have any information or know where I can get documentation on this, by all means, please chime in, let me know. I'm very interested into checking this out.